Hi, I'm here again to talk about access. I recorded the first, how can I say, presentation, and I was kind of out of the topic. So now I'm going to focus more in the design and analysis. So my idea today is show you guys how can we use Access, Microsoft Access, as a tool for design, for draft, and to test your database. Because in my opinion, Access many times is not well saw by many people because they say that Access is not a good tool, is not a real database, and somehow I understand why they say that. But I'd like to show you how Access can be good, at least in the moment when you are creating your database, when you are drafting your database, and even testing. So if you guys have Access in front of you, if you guys never saw an Access, what I can tell you is that, for example, when you're going to do your first tasks in a database, so let's say you're going to use your Oracle or your SQL Server or any other sort of database, you usually, when you're going to create a database, or you have to write, like create a table and define the weight of table, or you have some kind of visual kind of screen that help you to create a table, but usually they're not really customized, they're not really simple to use. And if you go to Access, you see that to create table there is almost intuitive, I dare to say, because it's really simple to do. If you just want to create like a almost Excel spreadsheet, you can go to what they call the table view and simply go there and type your data, and then when you save, Access somehow recognize what kind of data is there and it suggests to you what is number, what is date, what is text. Or you can use the design view, which is somehow similar with other tools, but it's much easier. For example, when you are creating, let's say, a simple table in Oracle or SQL, you want to put text, you have to put char or varchar. Okay, we know what this means because we learn. When you want to put numbers, you have to put integer or double, or there are different names, depends the language we are using. If you go to Access, when you're going to create a column field that should be text, the data type is text. When you want to create a data type that's number, the data type is number. So seems to be obvious, and I don't know why other languages don't do this. I saw some people say this don't give us all range of possibilities, but it's not really true, because, for example, you can go there, as I said, and create a text, and if you put the size is 0, means it will be a varchar. This means it will be variable the size. You can go there and say that's a number, and depends how you define the properties of this number. You're going to say that's an integer, is a byte, is a long integer, is a single, is a double. So if you have knowledge, you have all possibilities to create different sorts of data. And if you don't have knowledge, you can do something pretty much good without too much problem. About other options that Access, even being a simple to give to you when you're designing your tool, is, for example, again about data type, they have the counter, the out number is the name how they call. So if you go again to Oracle, you have to create a procedure that will be a count that you're going to add in your fields. If you are in SQL Server, it's something similar, you have to create an out number. In Access, you have all these possibilities. You just create a field, say there's an out number, you say that you want integer, and how it will be incremented, if it will be 1 by 1, or if it will be 2 by 2, 10 by 10, or if you want randomic, or even if you want GUID, that's a kind of general number that, besides to be a unique number to your table, also keep together the information about your computer. How this works, why this is important to having Access. let's say I create a database here in my computer, and I'm going to distribute, have this database distributed in many users, like let's say people that, like vendors that go to different clients to talk, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the week, I'd like to put all copies together and do some consolidation in my central database. So let's say I create 2 or 3 orders, other 2 or 3 orders, and so on and so forth. Imagine if I create order 1, 2, and 3, order 1, 2, 3, and order 1, 2, 3. When I'm going to consolidate this, will be a mess. So access, if I create this kind of primary key with this GUID, what happened is the access makes sure that the primary key in your computer will be unique. So if it creates a given primary key in your computer, you never create this same primary key in other computer. So when you're going to consolidate 2 or 3 or how many copies you have of the same database, you can be sure that you're not going to have duplication of the primary key, and your data will be safe. But as this class about design, I guess one thing that's really interesting for me, that I think I like more in Access, is exactly when you are creating, let's say, our ERD, Entity Relationship Diagram. In most of databases that I know, we don't have this kind of tool. We create our entity relationship in paper, and most of the database there's no space where I can go there and define. But in Access we have a space. The name in this 2007 version is relationships. So you go to database tools, you have their relationships. So how this works? For me it's really intuitive again. So you can add your tables. So again, let's say you have your table customers and your table orders. In your table customers you have the customer's ID, what's usual, doesn't matter what kind of data is. And then your table order, you have the date of the order, whatever you want about the order, and at some point you have also the customer ID, that's the customer who did that order. So I know in my paper, in my entity relationship diagram, that that primary key from customer is the same, should be related with this foreign key in orders. If I go to Access, I have this relationship. It's a screen, a visual screen, really easy to use. I just take one field, drag and drop in the other field. Access is going to create a line really similar with what we learned about entity relationship diagram. And then I can say the cardinality, let's say, of this relationship, if it is 1 to many or 1 to 1. What's the, how can I say, the main advantage for me in this screen? If you don't know, if you are not a DBA, if you never studied database, and you are going to do this by yourself, probably you are going to do some mistakes. If you're going to do this in Access, Access knows which kind of relationship is. So let's try to explain. In this case, you have customer, that's a primary key, customer ID. You have orders, that's customer ID is a foreign key. You didn't define foreign key, just the primary key. When you create a relationship from primary key to a foreign key, Access knows that that first field is a primary key. So Access will automatically create a relationship 1 to many for you. So even if you don't know what this means, this will be created automatically. Then sure, if you want, you have the possibility to go there and create a join type and say that you want 10 to 0 many, let's say. So if it's mandatory or not, that fields. But even if you don't do this, it's not a problem, because you define this in your queries later. So in this moment, in the relationship screens, it's not that important, this 0 or 1 or 0, 1 and many. But if you know, it's good, but it's not something that you have to do in this moment. Why am I saying this? Again, in a big database, you define this. Once it's defined, it's defined. If you do something wrong, you have to go back and fix. In Access again, I'm talking about to create your draft, to create your test, to create your simple database. So you can go there and just leave, for example, one too many, and then later when you're going to use the database, you're going to maybe convert this database to Oracle, to SQL, then you can do this kind of things later. But even like that, we have already some advanced tools that's related to this screen of relationship that I think is important when you create your draft, when you're trying to do something simple. That's, for example, in the same screen they have cascade updates and cascade delete fields. So this means it's a kind of trigger. We don't have trigger in Access, but it's a sort of that say that for some reason I update the primary key of one table, all tables that are related to that table and have that field as foreign key will be automatically updated, for example. Or if I delete, all fields will be automatically deleted. This is important to reinforce integrity. So come back to the initial idea to have Access as a tool where I can draft my database, or I can start to create something, do a test. I guess it's more than what I expect in this moment, because you can create the tables, you can put primary key, you have a really big range of data type, you put your relationship, and you have all this integrity. So, and it's fast. So for example, you are studying a database with your customer, with your client. I don't see reason to spend time creating a database in Oracle, in other big database that are going to take maybe hours doing. If you can just go to Access, sit there, and really, almost like you work with Excel or with Word, you basically just create your tables, you create a relationship. It's really easy. Sure, later, this easiness is going to be reflected in other tools Access has, like when you're going to create queries, you don't have to know select from where, group by, order by. No, you just go there, it's visual, you can just drop the fields, put your criterias, and then the query will be there. And better than this, you can then ask the SQL view and see the comments that you create in a visual way, and even learn. I can confess that I learn SQL like this, creating things and then see how Access created the SQL line, and then trying to adapt, try to do something better. And the last thing I would like to talk about Access is, yes, we don't have here, as I said, triggers. Yes, Access is just a big file, so if you put all your database or your tables in just one file, and if you lose that file, you are in problem. So, but even like that, you have many advanced tools. You can use ODBC, you can use all sort of tools you have in the market, because basically till nowadays all case tools that I saw, that I work as Win and others, they accept Access. What I'm saying this, what? For example, I did this draft with Access. I have there, let's say, 30 tables, relationship, primary key. I put some data, show to my customer. It's okay, it's work. I have some queries, and then now I'm going to work in, let's say, the database my customer has, Oracle. So I don't need to create everything again. If you have any kind of these tools, you just upgrade. If it's SQL Server, there's a tool in SQL Server in Access that did this for you like in 2 minutes. If it's other kind of database, you find easy tools that do this for you. So that's my idea. Be here kind of lawyer to the Microsoft Access, to show that maybe it's not the big database that you can compare with Oracle, SQL, Progress, Ingress, but it's a good tool that you can have your computer, that can do professional work. And even if you need something a little bit bigger, let's say to 20,000, 30,000 records, you can keep in Access, and I guess you're not going to have too much problem. So I hope this works. I hope this helps you to have a better idea about Access, and I would advise you to try Access more. That's a good tool. Okay, thank you.